Donald and Douglas are Scottish twin engines. They're practical, peppery, and proud. They nearly always work together. One day, Donald and Douglas were traveling through the countryside, hauling a heavy load. Down the line, Trevor the traction engine had been struggling with a big cartload of hay. Crossing the tracks, the cart's wheels had broken off. Then, Trevor heard a whistle. Trevor cried. Donald could see the cart. He cried. Donald's driver applied the brakes, but it was too late! Luckily, no one was hurt. Donald snapped. Douglas snapped back. Huffed Donald. Argued Douglas. Before long, the track was cleared, and Donald and Douglas were on their way. The twins were so cross, they refused to speak to each other for the rest of the day. The next day, Sir Topham Hatt needed an engine to help Duck at the smelter's yards. Said Donald eagerly. Said Sir Topham Hatt. Said Donald. Sir Topham Hatt was surprised but agreed. Thomas was worried. He asked. Sniffed Douglas. Huffed Donald. At first, Donald enjoyed working with Duck. Then, things started to go wrong. Donald asked. Duck replied. Donald was cross. He huffed. Douglas was working on his own. He chuffed dutifully to the beautiful countryside. But Douglas had no one to share it with. Although he tried not to, he was beginning to miss his twin. That night, Douglas's driver took him to visit Donald. Said Douglas. Donald sniffed. This made Douglas very cross. He said, and steamed away in a huff. The next day, Donald was in a bad mood. Duck could see he was getting too close to the buffers. Duck shouted, but it was too late! Donald's driver was very cross. He said, Donald knew he was right, and Duck knew he couldn't pull Donald back onto the rails. So he went for help. Douglas was sadly finishing his work as Duck steamed into the depot. Said Duck. Douglas cried. And he steamed off as fast as he could. Douglas struggled and struggled. He finally pulled his twin gently back onto the tracks. He was relieved Donald wasn't hurt. Donald said. Said Douglas. Insisted Donald. Chuckled Duck. And they were.